Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes. I'm your host, Logan, back here again, talking about the MCU. Shocker. I know. I can't believe it. This group of individuals are putting out so many pieces of content. We just talked about Moon Knight, a 6-part series, and now we're talking about an epic film that just came out last week. We saw it in theaters. A few of us together. I think Steven saw it last week. We're talking about a sequel in the making for many years now. After all the delays, all the reshoots, it's finally time to dive into this wacky, crazy movie. Sam Raimi's back. It's a horror movie's twist on a multiversal chasm. This is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Spoiler alert right now. First, the numbers. Let's just get right into it. This is Doctor Strange 2. It is a sequel. We'll get into that storyline in just a minute, but this one, as I said, is directed by Sam Raimi, who you might remember from the Tobey Spider-Man films. Here he is again. This one's written by Michael Walden, produced by Kevin Feige, composed by Danny Elfman, and we have a great cast. Benedict Cumberbatch coming back as Doctor Strange. Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. Help me with that third name there, Scotty Scoop.
Shipwell?
Chidowell
Ejiofor?
Ejiofor.
Yeah.
Coming back as Mordo or Mondo?
Mordo.
Mordo. Benedict Wong coming back as Wong. Here's a few names that'll be tough as well.
Xochitl Gomez.
Coming in as America Chavez with the introduction of a brand new character, Rachel McAdams, back again as Dr. Christine Palmer, Michael Stolberg, and Sheila Adam. We got a whole cast here. Let's talk about the box office and what people think about this thing. So I wanted to bring up two just to see how it did. So on opening, the second opening day, I believe, of it, May 5th.
That would be...
That was
Thursday.
That was Thursday. So this is day one,
so this
essentially.
Is, like maybe some sneak previews on Wednesday, and then the quick day one.
And that day one was $85 million. Box office worldwide, that's gross. And then as of May 7th, just 2 days later, opening weekend was at $185 million. Maybe while we're sitting here, you guys can look up what the current number is as of today.
It's over half a billion.
$500 million?
Yes.
Woo!
We've crossed the $500 million mark.
I don't even know what to think about that amount of money, but I know that it gets me excited that if something that we're watching is doing well, that's exciting for us. Glad that we get to talk about it. Excited to hear all the people out here that have seen it. And yeah, man, using IMDb Pro for all these stats that we're throwing at you. Currently, what do people think of this movie? 76% of Rotten Tomatoes, 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and 87% of Google users are into this movie. Always like to dive right into the story because this is going to be one that's going to be so fun to talk about. A lot of cameos, a lot of a story that I think we can all easily get through, some villains that you probably didn't see coming. But first, I want to do a good round table. We're going to start with our boy, Steven Walden. We always like to do what we call around here a gut check. Well, who are you going into this movie? What was the hype like as this movie was ahead of you on the calendar? And what were you most excited to see? And how'd it go overall without spoiling it for you?
I was fortunate enough to stay away from a lot of spoilers, and some of the spoilers I got clearly did not come true. Where I was super excited about this since No Way Home. Honestly, even since WandaVision, just because I knew that this was originally planned to come out right after that series aired, and I think it would have been of a better service had it had that timing. But super excited. Although Doctor Strange himself, I was never a huge fan of him in the comics. I don't identify with magic and fantasy. I prefer my stuff to be a little more grounded. However, the movies I've enjoyed. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is great. I love this. He's the smart ass heir apparent to Tony Stark. The visual seeing it in 3D, just unbelievable. Also highly recommend to take your glaucoma medication and a lot of it before you go see it.
Great for 3D, I guess.
Yes, fantastic.
Oh.
Is that what else do we need to
No,
check?
that's perfect. That's exactly it. Just a little bit of setup, like who the character is to you and all that coming in. And Andy, we had talked about this for how many weeks now? Scotty Scoop as well. I think the three of us, we can't say enough how much we were waiting on this thing. Give the fans a little bit of a taste of what you thought coming out of it, and then we'll do a rating at the end, obviously.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been waiting for this movie for so long. I feel like it's been 5 years, but exactly like after WandaVision, we all knew like that was kind of going to lead into this, and this did not disappoint. Like I was so happy, like during this movie, and obviously my heart rate rose above unacceptable levels so many times that my Apple Watch like warned me to make sure I was okay. So thank you for that, Sam Raimi.
Marvel's like, new kind of lawsuit. All right, Scotty. I mean, you saw it twice.
I saw it twice. I was so amped for this movie. I always tell myself I'm gonna stay spoiler free. But I can't stay off the internet.
Oh gosh,
I just can't.
So you're a real addict.
So it was probably last Monday. Just a few days before the thing came out, and the spoilers were just everywhere, and I got most of them. And I was like, oh, man, like, I hope there's something else. I had a lot of fun. I think it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Probably a divisive movie.
Mm-hmm. I think we might find out. Yes, we got a good little focus group of 4. Let's get into it and talk about the story. I'll tell you how I feel at the end. So put on your storyteller hat. I mean, I'm working on a storyteller bite. We'll get it in here eventually. But for now, it is story time. I want to get right into it. But first, a little setup always helps a little bit. Doctor Strange 1, came out in 2016, 14?
Somewhere around
somewhere
there.
in that
15.
It was 16.
Yeah.
16.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. Doctor Strange breaks his hands. He's a great surgeon. Now he's Doctor Strange. He beats Dormammu with a little trick. You meet Wong. You got Mordo.
Mordo.
Yeah.
Mordo is
or
in
Carl, if you know him.
Carl.
Yes.
Right. I love that. We meet the Ancient One. All the history behind Doctor Strange and the sorcerers and where they come from, who they are, the little backstory, and like a lot of teases of like big ramifications that become in one day, from what he did with the Time Stone to defeat Dormammu. Spoiler alert for the movie. We already said it. You also see him, of course, in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, a big part of the battle that takes down, of course, Thanos. And then another title that you might need to see before this movie was a little show called WandaVision, a 9-part episode series starring Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, bringing back those 2 characters from the MCU into a 9-episode run that went in January of 2021. And then, as of late, the last time we saw this character was in a massive film that you might have seen called Spider-Man: No Way Home, which is probably one of the best movies we've seen since Avengers Endgame. And Doctor Strange got a little multiversal in this thing, making some things happen with multiple Spider-Mans, all the things going down. And once again, kind of feeling like maybe some ramifications here. What's going to happen in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
Some ramifications?
Ooh.
I like it.
I'll give it up for you. Just a little one. And the story goes. You guys want to drop right in?
Please.
A different Doctor Strange with a ponytail. He's wearing blue. He's running through, obviously, some kind of cosmic world with a girl in a blue jean jacket with a star on her back, and they're being chased by a crazy monster. They're trying to get a book that's apparently going to help, and at the end of it, the monster's getting the girl with the blue jacket. Doctor Strange says, only one way to do this. I'll do it myself. I'll take your powers. I'll get the book. I'll destroy the monster. Does not go as planned. This Doctor Strange. Why do I say this? It's definitely not ours.
This is Defender Strange.
What?
He's Sorcerer Seagal.
Seagal's pretty good. All right. Good made up name.
Nice.
Is yours a comic book name?
Yes.
And what's it again?
Defender Strange.
And this guy, here he is.
Yeah.
What'd you think when you see this right away?
I was like, they're just dropping us right in.
Right in.
Yeah.
Into the thick of it. What is going on? This Doctor Strange is speaking Spanish. I don't.
Yeah.
I get no introduction to America Chavez. Personally, I know who she is, but we're just jumping right into the action.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let's start off on a hot beat. We're doing it.
We're doing it. Just all that Marvel, Doctor Strange, kind of the CGI of going nuts. It looks so good. And Doctor Strange apparently maybe dies. Yeah, he does. The portal opens. It's in the shape of a star, and that's where it falls in. And our Doctor Strange wakes up from a dream.
Yeah.
Here he is. He's at home. He's kind of sleeping. And this is after Spider-Man No Way Home. This is picking right up. This is a new Doctor Strange movie. This is a new story. You really don't know where you're coming. He's just kind of living his life. He has some big plans that day. He's going to go see Christine Palmer once again because guess what? She's getting married.
Yep.
He's going to the wedding. He got the invite. He runs into the original surgeon doctor that he worked with from the first movie. Did you guys realize that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Oh, my gosh. That was so great. The doctor just being like, so... He's at the wedding. They're sitting in the pew. It's Christine's wedding. And he goes, so, I lost my dog.
My cats.
My cats.
My cats died. And my sister.
And my sister or brother.
Brother, something like that.
Was there any other way the blip could have gone?
Right.
And he's
Did
like,
you
no.
really have to do that?
No, that was it. It's like, best surgeon, best superhero. Wow. This guy's just still going.
Still didn't get the girl.
Still didn't get the girl.
Oh, man, savage.
And here she is. There's Christine. Rachel McAdams is back. And not long into the wedding, shit goes down. In the street, monster. I mean, you guys know what this monster's called?
It's definitely not Shumagorath because they legally can't use that.
Right.
Why not?
But it was definitely Shumagorath.
So, yeah, it's a Conan property.
Yeah.
But like same look, like with the big eye, the big tentacles. It's attacking. It's not really attacking New York. It's kind of invisible. Then Doctor Strange shows up, makes it reveal itself. It's chasing,
which is kind of funny. I mean, it's like what is this that's embedded in our consciousness to want in superheroes to see them fight monstrous starfish?
Yeah,
because I mean, Starro, and that, I don't know. It was just
the Suicide Squad.
Thinking about that, but also a friend of mine, it was telling me I was really distracted because a lot of visual beats from Spider-Man 2 are showing up in Doctor Strange. There's a tentacled monster coming. They're crawling up the building. He listed all these things that are Raimi tropes, or at least visual callbacks. And it's like he said it was distracting for him, but I was like, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
that's what we.
This is one of the main grabs of the Sam Raimi add-on.
Yeah,
it kind of comes with his style.
Yeah,
right. Again, fanboys geeking out about shit and just being whiny.
Yeah,
it's like I love my kind and I fucking hate our kind at the same time.
Right.
It's like, just be happy. I mean, if you had told me in 1982 as a 7-year-old kid, I'm 47. I'll do the math for you. If you told me that, hey, when you're in your late 40s, there's going to be a Doctor Strange movie that's going to make $500 million.
Right.
Not only that,
unheard of,
but he's already been in 4 other movies.
Yeah, this is his 5th appearance.
Right.
I mean,
we are so spoiled.
Oh,
we're
spoiled.
So fucking spoiled.
Oh, spoiled rotten. But I mean, what are you going to do? It's like I'm not in the room where
what we're going to do is we're going to complain about it. That's what we're going to do.
Well, you know what we do? We come in here, we celebrate the stuff that works, but we also call out, what it is, what it doesn't work. Right. I like that too. But I agree. I'll tell you where it's worse is the internet.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like sometimes it's just focused there. But all right, so back into it. Here we go. Big kaiju looking thing. He's got the eyeball. All right, Wong shows up. It's a double team. We're going to help save this girl. She introduces herself. She doesn't even say it again for another. I don't think she says her name until she sits down and talks. Mm-hmm. After they beat the monster, Doctor Strange pulls out the eyeball. He realizes very quickly that thing's trying to come after you. Let's sit down and talk about this. My name's America Chavez. Am I saying that right? America
Chavez.
Yep. Yep.
America Chavez. All right, first question. Superhero name?
Nope, that's her name.
America Chavez.
That's her real name.
That's her name.
That's her superhero name. The jacket with the star. You guys are recognizing this.
Marvel rarely does secret identities these days.
Straight from the comic books. You're seeing this character right from the page.
I guess that's true. It's not always a superhero name. Some of them have them, but some of them, Doctor Strange is just Doctor Strange. So this is the movie. So what's the story here? This girl is a multiversal being. She can travel between the multiverse. She says, have you guys had any experience with this? He says, I have. And have you seen Spider-Man No Way Home? And gets the kind of lowdown there. She says, okay, someone's coming after me. They're trying to suck my powers so that they can travel between worlds. And I need help. I had Doctor Strange helping me. What was his actual name? The blue Doctor.
Defender Strange.
Defender Strange was helping me. I wish they would have called them all. They just stuck with Doctor Strange. Yeah. They were like, we're not going to throw too much at these fans yet. And says, I was working with another Doctor Strange, but he sabotaged me in the end.
He's like, yeah, I seen that in my dream. Oh, well, newsflash.
Did you know?
Not a dream.
Did you know that if you're dreaming, it's an older multiverse world.
Yeah, you're just seeing another version of you that really exists.
Yeah, so all those dreams you have, they've happened.
Yep.
What a
Real
bomb
thing.
to drop
Yeah.
on someone.
So many multiverses exist where I can just show up at places naked, apparently.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, yeah, I just keep having, I guess there's one multiverse where I'm just like at my high school, always late for class.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was
I
really
didn't study for a test.
I was
Yeah,
really
can't get
attacked
into my
by
locker.
Jack Nicholson's Joker. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. There's a multiverse out there where Jack Nicholson's Joker really gets you.
Wow. I don't like this. I don't like this theory.
It's okay. You're other Giggler. You're
Yeah.
safe, so
Yeah, you're this one. As long as you don't dream walk, which we'll get to. All right, so she says, the other Doctor Strange didn't help me out. Maybe you can. He says, okay, I will help you out. But this is a kind of outside of my wheelhouse. We need some big power protection. Do you have anybody that has some experience with magic?
Magic?
And I'm like, well, you're Doctor Strange.
Right.
But
Well, we get before that,
go ahead.
we get the how do I know you're really telling the truth? Oh, I'll take you to this body.
Oh,
of
yes.
The other Doctor Strange.
Let's,
And they're like, all right, we'll bite up to the rooftop. And there it is.
in the
They
most
uncover
like
it.
in the most set looking rooftop I'd ever
Oh
seen.
yeah, for sure.
I was a little bit like, okay, what rooftop is this?
Very clean.
Like the most
Yeah.
artistic
Yeah.
art, like, I loved it. But what do? They bury the body.
Yeah, it's like we got to hide this body.
Long
Doctor
ma-
Strange is like, I've hid bodies before. I'll put it right over here in this convenient empty spot on top of this roof.
Wong is makes like a little New York joke. He's like, that's got to be against a few ordinances.
Some code.
it's clearly an example of Chekhov's Strange, because the Strange they introduced in the first act, you have to turn him into a zombie by the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like that's just sitting there waiting
Yep.
for us.
And then you get the introduction. I'm America Chavez. Okay, we're gonna take you to Camartage.
yes, this is like the sorcerer's home.
Yes,
You guys
Yeah,
know
where
what
they're-
country they're in?
they're like training. I imagine it's somewhere in
Nepal.
Tibet, something like that.
a lot of big giant mountains.
Yeah.
And in the middle of nowhere. Let's go back there. That's
Colorado.
where
Well, we're gonna take you there, and I'm gonna go see if I can get some help.
And who does he go see? Here she is,
Yep.
Wanda Maximoff,
Yep, she's just in her little apple orchard,
cutting her just cutting limbs off of apple trees,
trimming trees.
just one at a time.
Yep,
Just
there's
like,
some sheep in the background.
oh hey, Doctor Strange, I gave up my magic a long time ago.
Yeah, I know why you're here. You know that whole thing with was it Westview?
Oh, you're mad at me because of Westview. I know that
Yeah.
you want to talk to me about it. And he's like, no,
Yeah.
I
Actually,
don't want to.
I don't
knew
care.
I knew that. Yeah, he goes, I knew you'd figure it out.
It is in Nepal, FYI.
Good job, guys.
Nice.
So the trees are up. Doctor Strange breaks it down, says, we've got this kid, needs help.
Yeah, do you know anything about the multiverse? Viz had his theories.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, she's saying this as she's trimming branches. I mean, what we know about Loki and timelines,
Right.
branches being trimmed and cold, and
Mm.
while she's creating incursions throughout the multiverse. While it's apples, we know about the historical and symbolic significance of apples and different religions and pagan, representing children.
Uh-huh.
So it's like it's so subtle in what it's doing, but also not at the same time. The dots are
Right.
there
Yeah.
to be connected.
Classic like Marvel, storytelling where they weave in those types of real historical things. I mean, you look at a movie like Eternals, and it's like you're asking like, how do they put this all together? And it's from like real history. All right, well, she pretty much shows her colors right away.
Oh, well, yeah. He's like, we could do this. Maybe you should come to Camartage. And she's like, well, what if you just bring America Chavez here and I could protect her?
And he says,
And
she says,
she catches,
yeah.
You never told me your name, did you?
Mm.
And you can tell as soon as she said it, his face changed. And he's like, shit.
He's like, and also he's just like, this is Wanda. This is
Right.
our.
We're going to get you back on the lunchbox.
Yeah, back on
Oh,
the
yeah.
lunchbox.
What a great
That
line.
was great.
That was such a great line.
Yeah.
Like, we can figure this out. Like, who is this character? Like, man, you got to do some catch up for people that haven't seen WandaVision.
Mhm.
But assuming you had, like, here she is, man. Like, we met her all the way back in the
Age of
Ultron in credit
Mhm.
scene, or actually in Age of Ultron. We
Yeah.
met her in the movie before that in credit scene. Captain
Remember what
America.
the Captain America 2.
Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier,
At the very
yeah,
end,
that's
yeah.
And it's been, it's like this girl's come so long. We learn all this stuff about this character, and boom, dude, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's been chasing her.
Yeah.
You know that monster? I was the one that sent it.
Yep.
I've always been the one.
Yeah.
Like
And
this
she
was
waves her hand and drops the facade. You're in a field of dead trees.
red.
The red smoke clears and yeah.
And she says, "You bring her to me.
And yeah.
And if you don't, you'll see what happens whenever I'm not reasonable."
right.
You know?
This is me being
Yeah.
reasonable.
And
mercy.
he can't talk her off the ledge. He leaves. He goes back. He tells everybody about this. Wong, buckle down the forces. Everybody get your big shields up. We're going to shield this place up. America Chavez, you're going to sit here and we're going to protect you. And she's like, so the person you went to help me is the one that's trying to kill me.
Yeah. You told her exactly where we are.
And you told her where we are. Yes. Okay. And she shows up and it's a fight scene. This is it.
Yeah.
Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. She calls herself the Scarlet Witch in this movie.
Yeah, straight out.
And it says, if you don't, that's what she says. If you don't do what I say, the Scarlet Witch will show up
Yes.
for you. And she does. Red smoke over what's the place called?
Carmitage.
Carmitage. And he goes up and talks to her. She's like, I'm not backing down.
Yeah.
I'm not a monster. I'm a mother.
Yeah, we find out that she's
This is wild.
Yes.
desperately trying to get back to the children that didn't really exist
Yes.
in this universe.
Sam Raimi does his little catch up for the fans that haven't seen WandaVision, a little dream sequence of her in the room. Well, it's her with the kids, and like she lives
Right.
through it, and then she wakes up from a dream, which now we know was a multiverse.
Something that she knows exists
Yes,
somewhere else.
because
She just needs to try to get there.
she has the Darkhold,
Yes.
which she got from Agatha in WandaVision. So this
Yes.
is what's taught her about these things,
It really was Agatha all along.
Yes.
even
Yes.
still.
It's resonating.
And she's just being that character, that other person somewhere.
Something I want to come back to with Agatha when we get to the Illuminati scenes.
Oh, perfect.
Speaking
All
of
right.
there.
I like the pen.
But isn't this?
paper.
Have you
Yeah.
guys talked to anybody who has seen this that hasn't been steeped in Marvel stuff like we are? Because that's the thing that really got to me is watch. And let me know if I'm going out of turn. This should be saved for the
Have
or
it.
not, because I know we do recaps.
No,
but
it's fine.
the thing that just struck me when I'm watching, I'm loving it, but I'm just thinking, this has got to be mightily inaccessible to people that are not as versed, because it seems to rely on that. A buddy of mine said Disney just was like, hey, you ain't seen WandaVision? Fuck you. You ain't seen
What if?
the other movies, what ifs? Fuck you
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's like,
and that's one of the points I like to make when watching Moon Knight is how disconnected
Exactly.
it was and how much it can stand on its own. Whereas something like this, you have got to know 8 different titles for it to make complete sense. I'm
Yep.
not saying you couldn't come in cold and put things together if
Yeah.
you're a smart person who's maybe has some tertiary knowledge of everything.
but it doesn't have the same weight.
But it doesn't mean as much if you didn't watch WandaVision or Age of Ultron or Endgame or Infinity War, or No Way Home. It's turning into much like the comic book world.
Well, that's what I
Now,
like about it, though,
Where
because
there's so many events you need to keep track of.
and I'm not even coming from that comic book world, but like I agree, that's how this movie felt. Like we all said, it dropped you in, it's happening, and I'm going cool, because I feel like that's my payday for like always being
For
like
keeping up.
keeping up
Yes.
and going like, I want this to feel like this.
Mhm.
I want this to feel like
Mhm.
I'm just turning the page. And Doctor Strange is now fighting this one-eyed monster, and now he's in a dead body. Like, I'm fine with that. But everyday moviegoer that's not engulfed, they're gonna feel a little bit like,
Walled off.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like, well, apparently it's not that big of a problem if it's made $500 million.
Oh, for sure.
So there's
Exactly.
somebody seeing it,
mm-hmm.
and it's not all Benedict Cumberbatch's mom. There, so.
Well, there was that one guy who watched Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters like 300 times.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
don't even know. I guess he's well funded. I mean,
Holy crap.
all right. So the big battle goes down. Wanda gets into the Carmitage essentially and is just killing everyone. I mean, just a killer.
Mhm.
Scarlet
yeah.
Witch is here to kill, and it's dead bodies. I mean, you're seeing it happen. They're showing Sam Raimi's doing his thing, showing the gruesome deaths, showing the power blast, wipe
Oh.
people out.
So, and to this point, that moment when she's like, "You never told me your name." That's the moment. It's like, oh shit, she's the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
She's the antagonist. I was
get
stunned.
As soon as she drops it, like, oh no, this is the big bad.
Especially considering how WandaVision ended, where she really did not face repercussions for her actions at all. She self-isolated, but that's not how justice works. You know,
it's true.
It's like she took it like, oh, sorry, I possessed you and took over your lives and put everyone in danger and probably got some people killed. I'm going to go live in a cabin now.
Right. Yeah, a nice cabin with like a lake and a mountain.
So
and you think there was some sort of personal growth there?
Yeah, and it's clearly not. Or the Darkhold.
And the Darkhold is it's got definitely
the closure that she gets at the end of WandaVision was undone by the Darkhold.
Yes,
right. And then at the end, I mean, she's just reading it. You know, she's just like, I'm into the Darkhold. I like this. You know,
it's quite the page turner.
Yeah, which also made me wonder: is like, was it Scorched Earth already, and that was a construct that we were seeing of the Darkhold with her out on the porch, or that was her astral version or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it made me kind of like, what?
Yeah, no, you're doing that. You're like, is it all right? So was that now seeing this movie, was she separated a little bit? Because this is one thing you're going to be asking yourself. This whole movie is the Scarlet Witch, a Wanda that's like still good inside of her. Like this is the ultimate question for especially fans, you know?
Which that's also the nature of horror movies as a genre, right? To create the sense of unease. That's why horror movies don't typically have happy endings. We always see the hand twitch at the end, that there could, or an eye open, or there's something that happens that unsettles. And that's another really cool thing that Marvel's doing with this is the horror movie that they put out there. And I can't wait to see them do this with other genres as they have, in comics, but to spin that out and see what that looks like more.
Agreed.
Because Marvel horror from like the 70s is amazing stuff
great.
too.
Yeah. And it's like, bringing some of this into the forefront now, like with the rated R content, like making it super scary.
Maybe Tomb of Dracula, something like that. That would be dope. Maybe an anthology series that they would do. That could be really cool. I mean, I guess that's what If is. So
yeah,
I'm in. Totally in. Well, this is where we get the big multiverse of madness for the first time. She makes her way in. She's closing in. They lock her in a mirrorverse. Wanda's reaching through the reflections.
That was great.
Grabbing everybody, the horror hands. You also see this is where she really starts to become more and more and more deformed, like the more she's like going after them, like little cracks in her face, like almost like a little bit of a bend to her. Like
she comes out of that mirror all twisted and
the Grudge.
Bones,
like the Grudge or the ring,
yeah,
right. And she's
so good.
She's coming through. She's closing in, and this is where fear settles in. America Chavez does the multiverse portal again. Her and Doctor Strange go through. Everybody else is left behind by everybody else. Wanda and Wong, essentially. Yeah. And this is where we get the crazy fall through scene. I want to hear some people rattle off what you see. Just go for it. What multiverses are we seeing during this tumble with Doctor Strange and America Chavez?
The one I remember the most is the pop art, which is like there's a world of vibrant colors and paint. Why did I remember that?
Of course you love that.
I was just thinking that actually.
But that was the most visually striking one. The others I can't remember off the top of my head.
Definitely saw the Living Tribunal.
Oh yes, that's right.
And what I believe was the Savage Land.
Yes, definitely.
We saw the dinosaurs and the prehistoric looking. Yes. Definitely the Savage Land.
What were you feeling during that? Like
I was, I seeing it twice. When it got to that scene, after seeing it the first time, I was like, man, when I seen this again, I'm gonna have to go into some sort of slow motion mode and see if I can pick things out. And it was just so fast.
Especially since this is probably 30 to 40% of every multiversal part you see in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. You get the painted universe.
The cartoon.
You get the cartoon universe.
Which is like, okay, there's What If. That's how they could do What If crossovers now. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love that.
I didn't think they were going to do that, but they just blasted it right on there.
Yeah.
It just confirms it, for the fans that are wondering that kind of stuff. You're like, okay, that's cool. And then they land in an Earth that is awesome, like covered in grass. Red is go, green is stop.
They have pizza poppers.
Food is free.
Let's talk about the big cameo here.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell, baby.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
Dude, Sam Raimi brings his buddy back into the fold. He's a pizza ball salesman. He makes fun of Doctor Strange. He's like, "You're a Doctor Strange.
You stole that from the Strange Museum, didn't you? You're a taker.
You're a taker." just punching him, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna make him hit himself
with his Evil Dead hand.
Yeah,
and
squirts the mustard in his face.
I mean, this is rough. She goes, how long is he gonna do that? Like the rest of the day? He's like, 3 weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
I was like, that's brutal.
Yeah.
But they're in this universe, and they decide the only person that can help us is the Doctor Strange that's here. Who's there?
Yeah, we got to find him.
We got to find him.
They walk to the sanctum.
Yep.
And they see the statue, the giant Strange statue. Like, this is dedicated to Doctor Strange, the greatest hero of all time, who saved us from Thanos.
Who saved the world, the universe from
Thanos.
And it's like this really sleek looking Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no facial hair.
Yeah.
He was, he had the collar, the classic popped collar.
Yep.
Loved it.
And this is the, what do they call the sanctum?
Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah. Yes. And Carl's running the place.
Yeah. Mordo shows up, opens the door, and Doctor Strange is like, crap. This guy does not like me.
No.
Because at the end of Doctor Strange 1, this guy was like tired of people taking magic and using it for like fixing hands and hips.
Right.
And
How dare you?
How dare you? You want to walk again?
You're just going to use the time stone?
Instead, I'll just kill everyone.
You're better crippled. Dick.
Good luck at your basketball game.
Jeez. They keep him away from the March of Dimes. Jesus Christ.
So he's the nice guy, at least on the surface. He gives Doctor Strange a hug, says, come on in.
Yeah, my brother.
My brother.
You told me this day would come. Tell me all about your universe.
About your universe.
And we're like, all right.
All right, we got a comrade.
Yeah, Carl.
We're sitting here, have some tea.
Carl.
Hang out.
Candy Mountain Carl. Sorry.
And they go, they get drugged immediately.
Yeah. The
no one's helping
sands
anybody.
Of whatever in the tea.
And not only that, but you're gonna we get some side by sides here. So we get Wanda has taken Wong hostage.
Oh, we'll say it's a funny callback to Doctor Strange 1 when he takes the tea from the Ancient One. He's like, "What'd you slip?" After he has the trip, he's like, "What'd you put in my tea?"
Yeah,
and then it's like, "Oh, bitch, put something in my tea," in this world. So
good point.
It's like every time you go to that place, you're like, I'm getting drugged.
Stay away from the tea, man.
Yeah, don't drink tea.
Have a pizza popper.
That'll definitely something that'll happen in 3, where he refuses someone's tea. I can guarantee
it's a very Hitchhiker's Guide moment.
Yeah,
it's no tea.
Or like when Hawkeye, like in Age of Ultron's like, I've already been down the mind control.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, this is where we're gonna get.
We've got
this
Wong.
is it. This is it, right? This is where we're getting into the most fun part of this movie.
We got Wong held hostage.
Yes, held hostage. Wanda's like,
Wanda's got the Darkhold. She's gonna try and dream walk.
We learn about dream walking.
America's in their little cube now. Or
Yeah.
they're both in their cubes.
Both
Right.
in their cubes.
Yeah, they're over here waiting for a minute, and then
We get Wanda dream walking.
this is where we get the other Wanda on this Earth.
We
Presumably.
See, we see her doing the dream walking, and then one of the people that we thought were dead, still alive, tries to help Wong.
Oh, so yeah, back at the
And
Karmatage.
Wong's let me out. I need to destroy the Darkhold, and she says, "It can't be you."
Because as they've reminded us many times, he is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Right. So she pulls out some sort of weird knife, dives, grabs
Wanda's
the Darkhold.
like up in the air, like
she's still dream walking.
Yep.
And breaks the spell, stabs the book, gone. She gets ripped out of her dream walk. And
like looks down and is
like,
like, oh damn,
no.
the Darkhold just burned up.
Right.
It's
now
gone.
what do I do?
It's gone. That was your main thing.
Yeah.
And what do I do? Well, I got the Sorcerer Supreme here.
Right. Tell me, how do I get these spells back?
I won't tell you anything. Well, what if I threaten 5 of your people?
The 5 people I didn't kill here at Kamartaj.
What you don't know is the people behind you are alive.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kill them if you don't
I'm going to
do
torture them.
And this is where
even Giant Green Bull Man.
Yeah, Giant Green Bull Man.
An actual character. Can't remember his name. Yeah, I got nothing.
None of us did. That was
I
weird.
tried to make something
he's a
up
real
that was
character.
realistic, but I got nothing.
Bull Shannon.
And this is where we find out about a new place for me in the MCU. Maybe not to a comic fan.
Wondagore.
Wundagore.
Oh, yeah. Wundagore.
This is where the Darkhold was essentially written
Transcribed
from
the carvings on the wall.
And she says, we're going for a ride.
Yeah.
Gets the sling ring, puts it on him, says, let's go.
Yep.
And this is, again, a little bit back and forth. I mean, we can just finish the storyline, though. Gets to this place. It's a giant tomb. It's like a giant on a top of this mountain. I mean,
Can't go all the way there.
can't get there with magic.
Because,
like, you only get close, like certain close. But then she can't. But she can. But she can.
Yeah, because it's the different kind of magic.
Right.
There's magic and there's sorcery.
Yeah. But her magic, she levitates right up in there. There's these giant beings guarding the place.
Yeah, giant demons.
Demons?
I believe these are particular named creatures, but I couldn't tell you what they are.
And it looks like they're going to come in and kill her and Wong. Instead, they bow.
They bow to her.
She looks behind her, and it's definitely the Scarlet Witch, like
it's her
in
for
stone.
sure.
This is her place.
Yeah. Oh, I used to live here, I guess.
This is like where it all started.
Yep, as it was sketched in the Darkhold itself.
Yeah.
We see that image of the Scarlet Witch. We saw that back in WandaVision.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't realize the Darkhold was like so connected to the Scarlet Witch. Like for me, I was like, this place is all like she didn't know about this. He told her, but like the Darkhold is always connected to like her power.
Right.
Well, in the comics, that's where she and Pietro were born.
This place.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Wow.
So I don't know if they'll play around with that, but I mean, also Magneto's their dad. So
Yeah.
Hell, I mean,
We'll see.
Andy
what
wore a
happens
Magneto
there.
shirt to the movie, and I was like, "Is this? Do you know something that I don't know?" All right. So that's Wanda. She's waiting. She's got her castle. She's got her power. She's just
reading
gonna
the walls.
She can read the walls, and she's gonna dreamwalk the shit out of it.
Yep.
Back to Doctor Strange and American Chavez in their glass cages, being held captive. They got handcuffs on with green little something on them that won't let them use their powers.
green means stop.
Yeah.
Green means stop in this universe.
Nice catch.
Good job. And Dr. Christine Palmer is essentially the doctor that's like keeping them hostage. Oh, hey,
white
I know
coats.
you.
With
I
the-
know you.
With a grant from the Baxter Foundation.
The Baxter
I mean,
Foundation.
when she said that, I leaned over to Carrie
Like, huh?
and I go, "That's Fantastic Four."
Yeah.
And Carrie's like, "What?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"I'll tell you later."
Oh,
I did the same thing to Shanna. She said Baxter Foundation. I was like, oh, and Shanna was like, does that mean something?
Oh, so great.
And I was like, oh,
yeah.
it's gonna mean something for sure.
I popped a semi. So,
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
This is
100%.
Jock and Nerd, they call this a nerd boner.
Yeah. Totally.
Because we've been waiting we live for little comments like that.
Oh yeah.
Like they Marvel doesn't put things in movies that don't mean anything.
Right.
Yeah, every line is just so meticulously placed.
Especially
Yes.
now. I mean, we in the early like phase 1 when they had to like come back and say, no, that really wasn't the Infinity Gauntlet you saw
Right.
at Asgard. But now everything is so fucking corporate,
Yeah.
that it's like we know exactly what our arcs are going to be and where
For
we
the
wanna
next
go.
10 years.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
God bless them, because I mean that's why they're succeeding. And DC's like,
Yep.
I can't do anything with Superman. I mean, like well, wait for our Squirrel Girl franchise to
Yep.
hit. That'll really make you bitter.
It really,
So-
it really is true though. It's just it comes down to anything. It's like putting in the work to make a plan
Yeah.
Mhm,
and like
sure.
sticking to it.
Well, and having a good plan and having a vision that fits the franchise. Feige, he lets auteurs do their thing, but it's not like where Zack Snyder is completely controlling, informing the DC universe. Like now everything is bleak and gray and dark and sad and edgelordy. So
Yeah, man.
big difference.
Well said. That's really perfect. That's a deep thought right there. I love it. All right, so we're getting into the big reveal here, man.
Like,
So
yeah.
Rachel gives the breakdown. Rachel, Rachel.
Oh,
Christine.
oh, you mean Regina George?
Thanks,
Yeah.
Rach.
Oh, man.
Christine gives the breakdown like, hey, we can't just let you go crazy in here. You can have some sort of
Disease.
otherworldly pathogen
Yep.
or,
We don't know how your powers
Yeah.
work. And also like your Earth, 616.
Yes.
This is our Earth,
38?
832 or
838, I
something.
think.
Yeah.
838. But Mysterio already dropped the 616 line, even though he was a faker.
He was a faker. So what does that mean?
Maybe he dreamed about her 616.
Or
Yeah.
dreamed about it.
Someone
maybe,
mentioning it.
Maybe
I mean, that's a plot hole. So
it is a little bit.
We'll see.
Because I've always thought about that. I've always thought about, well, that was a real big mislead because, I mean, we're talking about Spider-Man Far From Home now,
yes.
but I mean, he did say like, I'm from Earth 616. And like, that's a
Right.
very specific thing to
Yes.
say,
Yes.
but he was wrong.
That's not where he was from.
Or he said
No,
He was for sure.
He said a different one. He said like I'm from Earth.
Oh right, yeah.
212
But he said
or something.
the Earth Prime that he was on was 616. How do he know?
Yeah, how do you know
That's
that?
my question.
Especially since he was just like a guy.
Yeah.
That like worked.
Yeah, just randomly picks some numbers.
Pretty impressive to fake yourself as a doppelganger, though.
Yeah.
All right, so she says they're ready to see you.
Yeah, Mordo comes up with the Ultron bots.
I mean, this is it. I
was like, oh no, Ultron bots. Like
we get a little.
We all know where this is coming or where it's going.
I mean, I know because of you. I was like, who are in these chairs?
Yeah.
As a fan that does not know about the Illuminati, I'm just going, who's going to be in all these chairs?
Yeah.
And here we go. Slow walk in. I mean, I will tell you as a fan, I only watched the trailer once when it first came out, and I didn't watch anything since.
The first trailer. That's
first trailer.
I don't know how you do it.
I mean, it's kind of easy. You guys need to practice more.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I'm going to.
As they're walking him in, I was having that Marvel feeling. I was having the, oh my God, okay.
Something is happening.
Something's happening.
Something's happening.
And here they come one by one. Captain Carter.
There
she is. What's her name? The actress?
Haley Atwell.
Haley Atwell. We got Captain Marvel.
Maria Rambeau.
Maria Rambeau. Same actor.
Same actress.
From Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That played, little Monica Rambeau's mom, who was Brie Larson's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's Captain Marvel. Looks great.
Yeah.
Not dead from cancer.
Not dead from cancer,
right.
like in our universe, I would say. 616, I guess.
Right.
We're going to have to get good at this too.
Right.
Real life comic books happening.
Blackagar Boltagon.
I mean, I'm not even like a knower of this superhero. And I'm going, he looks amazing.
Yeah, Black
Holy
Bolt.
shit. This guy is the coolest. Like, what are they doing with this outfit with Black Bolt where it's like, I was like, oh, I remember this guy. If he talks, like, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, then they got the same guy from the show that failed.
Anson Mount.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Inhumans.
Yeah.
Are
the
you
Inhuman show. That was the same guy.
He said he was the king of the Inhumans, and I was like, oh. You
Which
just
is-
blew my mind.
Right.
You just blew my top off.
And
Now, am I going to go watch Inhumans?
No.
Right.
I've never seen
It
it.
doesn't count.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. I mean, they've undone a lot of that Ike Perlmutter, Marvel TV shit. But also Black Bolt having strong connections with Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Humans. So
Well, it's like,
Then we see-
speaking of which,
The smartest man in the world.
you talking about fan service here. I mean,
Lost
this is what
Here we go.
People have
everybody
been-
wanted.
begging for this.
Reed Richards, John Krasinski in the suit, Mr. Fantastic. I'll give it up for that too.
Man, when that thing scanned down and
Yes.
he came out, and
just like from the comics.
I'm like, holy shit. And I resisted the urge to stand up and say, identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
That's good.
And I
Well
was
done.
like,
Yes.
oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
And here it is. They're doing their intro one at a time. I mean, really great intros.
They start to break it down to him.
Yep.
Like, hey, the multiverse, it's real, it's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
And, you shouldn't be here. You're the threat.
He's like, listen, though. A being called the Scarlet Witch is coming down to rain hell on you guys. She's going to get that kid if you don't do something. And they said, we're not worried about her.
Yeah.
We're worried about you.
Yeah.
You're the one that always ends abruptly. And they tell the story about how their Steven ruined another reality.
Right.
Which
Well, they didn't get to that. They said
he
You-
died. He died.
he died. He was like,
You're right. I jumped ahead.
protecting
Yep.
protecting this world. And then you hear, we should tell him the truth. And you get that,
Tell him the truth.
we should tell him the truth. And then you get that riff. And you see the shiny yellow
You see that first.
hover chair.
The hover chair.
And you're like,
Nut.
here it is.
Nut.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
it is.
Hit the button.
Professor Xavier. Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
From the X-Men films, from the Singer films, from X-Men Days of Future Past, like just right here in front of you in an MCU film, playing himself, like in this reality, in the chair from the cartoon.
Yes. Yeah.
Looking old as fuck too.
Super old, really rattly voice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a sad day, but we're not going to talk about that. But
Oh,
I mean, yeah. So can we talk about casting here for a moment?
sure. Like here, we got the team up here.
Yeah,
Let's talk
so
about it.
This is the money shot. This is the meat of the meat.
You see them all sitting there.
So my question is, I was going for a joke. I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll come back to it.
All right.
What do you think of casting? Is this going to be a one shot for Krasinski? I don't think Stewart's going to be back in a significant capacity because he's 82, I think. But just wondering about those specifically. What did you guys think? What did you think of the acting? All that.
I will say, first of all, don't rule out anybody because they're old because of technology and Disney.
True.
Yeah. But it's cheaper and smarter to like not hinge a franchise on someone who's 82 and will probably be 85, 88 by the time he'll probably be retired. You know, he might do like a Hollow Vision something. That
they've got him in like season 2 or 3 of Picard.
Right.
This final season.
Yeah. It's got to be almost over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Krasinski. It was at a one time. I feel like it felt like a one time. If you're asking that, I feel like it felt like a one time. It felt like you'll never see him again.
Due to the next few scenes, I think this is absolutely
I agree.
one time for all of these characters.
Oh man, right? Because it's hard not to get right into that because you're right. Like this next scene kind of tells you like you probably won't see these again. I know it's. Here
with the multiverse, anything is possible.
Anything's possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, do they bring? Because like this Fantastic Four film is on the schedule.
Yes.
So like somebody's gonna have to be in it.
So here's why I'm going to say I think that Krasinski's going to be back. He's such a fan favorite. They cast him, and a buddy of mine says that's what they did. They did it, so now they can say, "Oh, we did it." But think of the backlash that would happen. It'll just be whoever they cast next, like, oh well, he's not John Kay. He's not Jim. We want Jim. We want Jim and Emily.
That's a heavy name.
Yeah.
Unless unless you just bring in somebody where you're just like, if Marvel does their thing, which they usually do, and it's like, all right, that was a different multiverse, and like now here's your Reed Richards. I could totally see them bringing in like either maybe not a no name, but maybe like another big actor that isn't like John Krasinski primetime big. Maybe just a little bit more like...
I don't think he's any bigger than what Benedict Cumberbatch was when he was cast as Doctor Strange.
Yeah, to me, though, like, especially, I'm an American. It's like Benedict Cumberbatch is like almost a no-name to a John Krasinski for me, like,
True.
Because like, I haven't seen Sherlock, and like, I don't know if I've seen anything else with Benedict.
Yeah. Well, a lot of indie movies and stuff like that.
But that's me.
But here's the thing. Yeah. I think if they weren't going to go anywhere with it, they probably would have just brought back Ian Griffith from the first 2 Fantastic Four movies.
Right, yeah.
Sure. And just said, if we just want to kill somebody, we'll just bring this guy back, who everybody already knows is Mr. Fantastic.
So you think he is coming back?
I think he'll probably come back.
Yeah.
What about Peggy Carter, Captain Carter?
I think she'll be back in some form. I think What If, this is my theory about What If, it is a test ground for marketing to see what ideas are popular. It's just like they did in the old comics, Tales of Suspense, those anthology comics, Tales to Astonish. It's like, we're going to put, they're going to be serialized, a few stories per issue. Let's see what people respond to. And then if they respond well, we're going to spin them off.
We're the ongoing experiment for sure.
Yeah. Because Peggy Carter, Captain Carter wasn't even a thing before What If. Like, we had other people in the Illuminati in the comics. Namor, I was thinking Namor was going to be there.
Right.
But, he's rumored to show up in Black Panther too.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it. We're talking a lot about like these characters being done. Stephen Strange was right. Here she is. Scarlet Witch finds them. She uses her dream walking ability to find the other her in the multiverse. Just leaves her kids unattended.
As good moms are wont to do.
Mom.
Yeah.
And still no Vision ever.
No.
Oh, she didn't have a wedding ring, so maybe this reality they were not married, or maybe had been divorced. Who knows?
It's really interesting because she has those kids.
Maybe
what do they say?
Maybe there is no Vision.
In
this universe.
Could be.
Yeah, because they say in every multiverse she has her kids essentially, and like
she's only visiting the ones where she has her kids.
That's true.
That's my guess, and probably maybe even the ones she would not go to one with Vision because Vision would be opposition. to her.
Oh yeah.
So she would be
That makes
selective.
sense.
Because if we're thinking multiverse, there's one that exists for every single
true.
possibility
It's
in
infinite.
the world. Right. And we can't even, comprehending infinity would make our heads explode.
You're so right. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was just she sought out what she wanted.
Yes. Yeah, because we know how smart and calculating, if it's her, the Darkhold, I don't know what the percentages are there, where her sliders are, like how much she is Darkhold, how much she is Wanda.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that it's going to be, much smarter in that way.
Well, we find out exactly who she is, at least in this moment. It's her versus this Illuminati. I mean, this is the full force of the Illuminati. We'll take care of this. I'll start with the Ultron bots.
Yeah,
they do
slaughtering Ultron bots.
Which, I mean, was great.
She's covered in the oil. It looks like blood and gore.
Yes, looks like the zombie from What If.
Yeah.
She's like all crinkly.
Oh, I thought it was a reference to Carrie.
It was 100%.
My revenge tour.
Yeah.
Oh, had to be
for sure.
And it is a revenge tour, right? Like he's like, this is Ultron, right?
Yeah.
This you killed my brother.
Yeah.
Here you are again.
I waited for a line for that.
Nothing.
And it didn't get anything.
Nothing at all. You thought
my Ultron was better. Or, I've already killed you once.
Yeah.
You
get a little James Spader in there. I mean, if it wasn't James Spader, it was the voice actor that from What If, maybe, because it was like she throws the helmet. One of the helmets like rolls. It's right when she walks out, and you just hear twice. Like he's
That's
like,
cool.
I forget what he's saying, but it's just like protocols.
Yeah.
Knocks him out, and time to take on each of these guys at a time. Let's just talk about these deaths.
The four main ones show up.
Oh my! I mean, together.
Black Bolt. You got Mr. Fantastic. You got Captain Marvel. And then you got Captain Carter, and you're like, well, this is an all-star team.
And you're like, hey, listen, I just saw Black Bolt's powers in that flashback where they
killed
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
So well done, where he just says it so softly.
I'm sorry, my friend.
So powerful.
Yeah.
Is that how did they do a better or worse than what was in that Inhuman show?
Didn't watch it.
Only two episodes aired, and then it was axed.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes, that Black Bolt can kill you with just a word of his mouth. And she says, what mouth?
Yeah. You look back and it's like, oh, okay.
And then
we're doing this straight from the Matrix.
And he just makes a mistake.
Where they erased Neo's mouth and he couldn't talk.
Looks legit.
But I have no mouth and I must scream.
Yeah.
Is the reference there.
And he does.
Yeah.
And he does.
And bad move.
And it blows his head up.
He pizzaed when he should have French fried.
And he hits the ground. That hit the ground. It was like
a wet slap.
Yep.
I was like whoa, this is hard.
Like, this is Raimi.
Nasty.
Yeah, this is Raimi. Okay, let's see what Mr. Fantastic can do.
Oh, she's like,
I'll just unravel you all the way until you're dead.
But before that, she was like,
oh, this is great.
All right, he was like, I have children of my
she says,
own.
do you have any kids? And he goes,
he was like, I know how you feel. I have children of my own.
Good call.
He's like, is your wife still alive?
Yeah.
Good. Because they're going to need someone to raise them. And
just throwing shade.
Oh my God. Just with a flip of the wrist.
And he's just like,
he just unravels like a ball of rubber bands.
Yeah.
And then like his head like pops at the end.
At the end. And you're like, oh my God, this is terrifying. And I love it.
And then they're like, all right, the two captains are left. Let's go.
And they look at each other and they're like, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, we just lost those two.
Yeah.
And Captain Carter's like, I got a shield. And she tries.
And a jetpack.
The jetpack.
They get bifurcated.
Little fan service. I mean, they got to do something, I guess. But
they put up a little more of a fight.
I could do this all day.
I could do this all day.
I
was like, I'd rather sing it.
Yeah. I could do this all day. Yep. From the best Disney Plus show.
And, I mean, cuts her in half. And then Captain Marvel, like the ultimate showdown. Like this was good. Powers versus powers.
Pissed.
I mean, this was great. This was like you were like, what does it look like when this character fights this one? I thought they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of a Civil War all over again. We see.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
the Marvel payoffs.
Yeah,
like in Avengers, where they're just giving you one at a time. Like we're gonna show you all these. Don't worry. And they do. She kills them all, takes them down. Strange gets out, gets American Chavez, gets Christine Palmer. It's time to run.
You see Professor X.
Oh, this is huge. Yeah. This is huge. He's the final one.
Yeah,
basically.
you're like, oh well, Professor X. We've seen him in action before. shouldn't have any problem taking care of this.
This is mind control. Like, you should be able to do this.
You know, he's doing the hand thing. Yeah.
Oh, he does the fucking thing from the comics, and you see the wavy lines.
Yep.
Yeah, you
know?
saw the
Oh, God,
lines.
yeah.
I love that. And I almost
Or
felt
from
like
the cartoon. Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, that's like maybe for fans, like, right, like the cartoon. But I was
100%.
also like, this is also for people that don't have any idea who this is.
Right. Like, oh, I wonder what he's doing.
Who's
like,
that?
oh, I
his
see the
brain.
wavy lines. We got to have some sort of brain action
Again,
going
the whole
on
thing
here.
with him and
Yeah.
you know, and the theme, and he's wearing the hover chair, got me amped for the new X-Men series that they're going to be coming out.
Oh, nice.
X-Men 97.
90,
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
Oh, so pumped. I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
pumped for that
And they've
show.
gotten back so many of the original voice actors
Yes.
for it.
I mean, that's.
Yes.
I think that's MCU. Just gonna say it. I mean, that's
Oh,
like.
well, everything is now.
I know. I mean, they
Technically.
put it up there on the board with the MCU titles. I'm like, so you're talking. I mean, that show. You watch the old one, like 93 through 96. Like they jump all over the place.
One of the cool connections that I don't know if they're going to come back to, I'd be curious, is if between Reed and Wanda is in the comics, how much Sue and Reed relied on Agatha Harkness for Franklin, their child that they had. He has crazy powers, and Agatha had a lot to do with his upbringing and his like figuring out his powers, which were always changing. And so I'm curious to know if with this Agatha series, if there will be anything that could be flirted with the Fantastic Four kind of a thing there as well.
Wow.
I had forgotten about that show.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot
Wow.
that was going to be a show. Like that's gonna, yeah, really good point
I mean,
because they're going to bring a lot.
She's stuck right now.
Yeah, she's
the wacky neighbor,
She's just the wacky neighbor,
which is
like,
also
that's
really fucked up. And well, I mean, I guess she's paying for crimes, but still.
yeah, but again, at Wanda's call,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But
And-
the other thing with Wanda is that every things go sideways when people underestimate her or rob her of her consent, which is echoed larger in how we treat women
Mhm.
in society. It's like take away consent, take away their voice, bad shit's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to go down.
Which, I mean, how ironic that this is coming out Mother's Day weekend. What a movie to take mom to. And then also just, it's like you couldn't have scripted anymore with things like with Roe v. Wade being back in the news again. And
Yeah.
like
I
how
mean-
much motherhood is like, it was, and even in the second to last episode of Moon Knight,
Yeah.
so much about motherhood and
It's like
trauma.
Mother's Day of Madness.
Yeah. Make my mother marvel.
Yeah, man.
We get Xavier jumping into her head,
I mean, yeah, like
walking around,
Walking-
and you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, and he finds to us, the audience. I mean, he finds Wanda.
He finds the Wanda from this universe
Yeah.
who has been suppressed by the
Oh.
Dream Walk.
Oh my, because
She's
it's her
buried.
body.
She's buried
That's
in
where
the
I got-
rubble.
Thanks for clearing that up because
Yeah.
that was what got confusing for me. Was like, is that good Wanda?
Yeah,
But it's not. This is
universe is Wanda
Universe 828 or
Yeah,
whatever.
the other
that has
Wanda.
been
What
taken
that has
over.
the kids.
Yeah.
She's like, help me.
Mhm.
And Scarlet Witch
Here,
comes
yeah,
in
here comes the Scarlet Witch mist.
and just kills him.
Yeah,
Kind of
just
look like the
comes out of the mist and grabs him, snaps
his neck
which
and-
happens in reality.
Kind of looked like the WandaVision house, just crumbled
Yeah,
to pieces.
Crumble.
maybe.
could be.
It's all come crumbling down. All right, so I mean, Illuminati's dead,
Dead.
except for Carl.
She comes back to reality
Yep,
after killing Xavier.
yep.
Oh, America's gone. America and Christine are gone.
They got out.
They've gotten out. They're running through the hallways.
Time to chase him on foot.
Yeah,
And here they
And
go, run.
you
Close
could
the
see
barricades.
she's like walking barefoot like this whole time
yeah,
over glass. So she's not, she's doing a little zombie shuffle kind of.
yep.
Following them, and you get the chase scene. Christine and America come around the corner and they see the shadow coming. Like, what's happening? You're like, oh man, here comes something else. And here comes Doctor Strange. Runs past him. Like, oh, hey,
Yep.
let's go, guys.
Time to go.
Yeah, time to go. Oh, I fixed your cape.
They fixed your cape. It's all stitched
You know,
up. We
it's
found
got
each other.
Now it's got that classic patch, the blue patch on the back.
Yep.
Oh,
And it's
great.
time. They collectively agree. Like, it's time to get back to like getting this book.
We've got to get the Book of Ashanti.
Like all the Doctor Stranges were right. The one from the beginning of the movie. The only way to stop her. She's got this Darkhold magic. We need another book that's like good and powerful. It's in the center of this place of the in between of the multiverse.
like a crossroads.
They
or
make it. They
something.
stall Wanda for just a moment, and then they get to the book. And this is where
Wanda just shows back up.
She shows up, and it
destroys the book.
Destroys the book immediately.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the way it's going to work. That's destroyed, and American Chavez does. Oh, she gets held by Wanda. This is where she gets captured.
Yeah.
This is it. Wanda gets American Chavez, captures her, opens the portal, like, by controlling her with her powers, sends Doctor
Strange and Christine
to
somewhere else.
A, like, nowhere reality that's, like,
somewhere
down
that
on
an
itself.
incursion has happened.
An incursion has happened. This is, like, this is the word they use for when a multiverse is, like, crowded into another somehow. And this is one that's falling apart, and there's only one person left, and it's a bad guy, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to call it. Does this guy have a name? He's got 3 eyes. He's got the Darkhold on his hip, and like, he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
And we get a Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange. Like, for this Darkhold, our Doctor Strange realizes the only way I'm going to be able to beat and Wanda is to get the Darkhold and kind of fight fire with fire, do a little dream walking myself.
Yeah.
I know that they're back on Earth 616. So, Christine, you watch over me. I've already defeated this Doctor Strange.
We had that cool scene with the music notes.
Yeah, this
we
music
get like
note battle.
A classic, like, in the first Doctor Strange and in Infinity War, where they just they go crazy with the magic. You remember in Infinity War, he made the butterflies.
Yeah.
And the weird stuff. We just go a step further.
The Crimson Bands of Sitarak.
Yes. We go a step further here.
The
and
winds
just
of...
he's pulling stuff out of everywhere. There's notes, and the other Doctor Strange fights back with
he's got like
music bars.
Yeah, music bars. I was like, this is insane.
I was like, we're going real wacky with it.
It looked amazing in 3D.
It did.
Oh,
I bet it did.
Shit.
See,
I bet.
You guys got to see it in 3D.
Okay, maybe I will. Like, I
And
definitely
high
want to see
as
this
fuck.
again. I will say that. But then he gets him. Probably looked real sick in 3D. Was the single note
From the harp.
from the harp. He's like, I can get one more blast in him. Knocks him out the window.
Sends him out the window.
And he gets stabbed and he's dead.
Impaled on the thing. He's laying there, and Christine came up, and a little third eye open.
Oh my
A
god!
little jump scare there.
That third eye. Apparently, like, that's what happens when you read the Darkhold too long.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna read the Darkhold. I learned how to dream walk. Only one catch: there's not a living Doctor Strange.
There's no I thought there had to be another Doctor Strange in the universe.
Another living. He's like, well, it doesn't say living.
Yep. That doesn't have to be alive. And we're like, oh man.
Guess who's making a comeback? The very first Doctor Strange you saw in this movie, pretty much a full-on zombie effect on this guy.
Chekhov zombie.
Yeah.
Chekhov zombie.
Hope you watched.
Like, as in Chekhov's gun, the dramatic element. Anton Chekhov, famous playwright, says, like, if you introduce a gun in the first act, it has to go off by the end of the movie.
Okay,
So we've
yes.
got Chekhov zombie. It's like we saw the guy at the beginning, so he has to turn into a zombie. by
Right.
the end.
He was just sitting there waiting for a
Yes.
big reveal at some
Yes.
point. Something
Uh-huh.
was going to go
And
down.
we saw it in the trailer.
Did
but-
we? I was surprised.
Well,
Yeah.
you did in the
We
trailer.
saw
What you see
a
is
zombie Doctor Strange.
Saw
they
the
show,
cape?
like with all the arms.
and I'm
Yeah.
like Logan. I tried to avoid as much as I can, so I can go in as untainted as
Cold.
possible. I go dark on Reddit, like at least the day of, and sometimes the day before, and then I just try to see the movie as soon as I can.
Yeah,
just
I
to
just
go
go
into it.
cold. I'm like, okay, what do I know? Like, do I want to watch anything old? I'll definitely do that. Do some rewatches going in. But new stuff, I'm like, I don't need to see the trailer 3 times. Like, I'm not trying to see the movie early.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I would. Yeah, get us those screenings, whoever's listening.
Yes.
All right, so he's in that Doctor Strange body. He's like, I got to get to Wanda. He gets to the Wanda Scarlet Witch castle. The ghosts are like trying to take his body back to hell. And
Gotta protect me from the spirits of the damned.
And she says, you're a master of the mystic arts, so like you should be able to control these things in theory. And he's like, well, let me focus. All right.
Starts
So
sucking
badass.
him in.
I mean, sucks him in,
awesome.
puts him on his back, and just flaps these
just
spirit
giant
wings all the way
demon
across.
Spirit wings.
And does enough interruption, just enough to get Wanda off of American Chavez. All the while, Wong works his way up. He's part of the fight now, takes down the demons. It's Doctor Strange and Wong essentially versus Wanda, and they lose immediately. She gets Doctor Strange on the ground. Wong is knocked out, and we get a nice little speech here, mentor to mentee. Doctor Strange, America Chavez.
Wong straight up tells him, you have to take her powers.
He says it.
Yeah.
After all this, Wong's like, you should take her powers.
You've got
which
to
means
take her powers. It's the only way.
It's the only way.
And America's like, you got to take my powers.
And he goes,
no.
you can do this.
You got this, kid.
And she did.
And Kinda.
She gets up, she punches Wanda in the face. I thought that's pretty bold.
Yeah.
Like this, and like
Couple of kicks.
Couple of kicks.
Open a portal behind her, trying to get her in, and she's not having it.
Not having it.
And America realizes, well, I can't beat you,
but I can
give you exactly what you want. Opens the portal to the kids.
Rips into the living room of this house. Wanda's there, the old Wanda's
the other
there,
Wanda.
the other Wanda, the kids, and they just are terrified, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Petrified.
Brilliant.
Like, stay away. You don't kill my
She
mom.
slaps
You're not
away,
my mom.
Yeah, she slaps away the other Wanda.
And this is it.
And they're like, oh my God, you're a monster. And she's starting to realize, yeah, I'm a monster.
Which the effect of that was muted a little bit if you had seen the Supreme Strange episode of What If. It's the exact same thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
He's wanting Christine wanting Christine the whole episode, and then by the end, when he finally has enough power to be with her, she's like, what are you? What
are you even?
Because he's become so malformed by all the evil he's absorbed.
That's the same.
Get
It's the
this
same
power.
concept.
Absolutely.
Like, look what you've become. Like, and I mean, how many people have you killed in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was a very cool twist in that it was America, a woman who was empowered at the end and
Mhm.
believed in at the end things that have consistently not been there for Wanda. It's the difference between this is what happens when we believe and encourage women, and this is what happens when we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the messages that's going on there, and I thought that was really cool.
Very nice. Very cool. Yeah, it was like, again, it's like, I wish I would have seen more of America Chavez.
Yes, and we will.
And we will. Like, that was
Disney
it.
making that paper, Young Avengers,
Oh
baby.
yeah, she is a young Avenger for sure.
You're putting down the track for that train.
We have got quite a lineup.
Yeah.
What are we looking for? Is that going to be do we know yet? Or is that just going to be like a
It'll
working
be
thing?
Disney Plus, probably.
Oh,
my
TV
guess.
show? Series?
Yeah.
We might get a movie. I don't know.
I can see that. Like,
We got-
like they'll show up in Secret Wars somehow.
Yeah,
So
young Hawkeye. We got
Yeah.
Billy and Tommy. We got
Oh, man.
the
don't have Hulkling yet, but we might after she.
the original Black Captain America's kid.
We'll get Ironheart.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ironheart,
Riri
yep.
Williams for sure.
That's something that could have multiple seasons for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Could go on.
Oh, yeah.
forever.
Yeah, that's a whole nother storyline there.
Yeah.
Thank God
Avengers,
Greg
then-
Berlanti didn't get to it first. Well, shit, he might still.
Yeah.
He's pretty heavy with DC though. So.
All right,
That's
so
true.
she sees the truth. She crumbles down. Wanda's like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Here's what I'll do. You know, everybody, America Chavez, Doctor Strange, they're out of here. Wong, they're out of here. I'm going to destroy my castle.
Mm-hmm.
That's over. And I'm going to destroy, because that's the Darkhold, essentially.
Right.
And then we see Doctor Strange.
And Christine in the other universe.
Yep,
And the Darkhold just disappears.
it's gone. So
She's-
she has now destroyed all of them across the multiverse.
Every universe.
Pretty powerful.
Talk about some ramifications. I
Yeah.
mean, they tugging on a string here. Like this. I mean, that could be like unlimited stories. I feel
Well,
like.
I
right?
mean, it's exactly what they feared. Wanda had or the Scarlet Witch had the ability to affect every universe,
yeah,
everywhere in the multiverse.
yeah,
And if she had gotten America's powers,
that was it.
that was the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, this could have happened for sure.
Like, then all of a sudden, all right, you remember WandaVision and Westview and what she did. It's like, well, she can do that to the multiverse now.
Everywhere.
So like, we got to nip this in the butt.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange and
Brings
Christine.
down the house.
Doctor Strange and Christine.
Yeah, they get a little magical moment.
That was nice.
I love you in
I d-
every universe.
I thought I was over it. I was like, oh, this is so long ago. But then, like, the moment he says it, I don't know. I'm in love. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I
Here
guess
we
that
go.
part hit a
God
little.
dang it.
But I was over it kind of quickly. But I was like, she's like, that'd be nice if you showed me. And I was like, are they kind of teasing that this could happen, like another storyline one day? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I got to go. And then they didn't show them waiting like another 4 hours for America to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, this is awkward.
I like how it called back to like the beginning of the movie at her wedding when he didn't really get to say his piece.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Like, yeah,
Yeah, Christine had made her speech
Yeah, and he
about,
was just like,
you've always got to be holding the knife.
and he never got
You've
to say like
always
what
gotta
it
be-
meant
right.
to him, and he finally got to say that.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, that's the whole theme of that Doctor Strange episode. Like, it's just like, it's like the love is at such a core of this.
Right.
Mhm.
All right, so this movie's wrapping up. American Chavez comes back and gets him. She is now a student of the Karma-Taj.
Yeah, Karma-Taj.
Nailed it. It took me the whole episode. And she's learning. She's got the sparkles going. She's there with Wong. Has a little dialogue with Doctor Strange, like, I'll see you around. I'll be here doing my thing.
Yeah.
He's like, he told her earlier, like, your parents are probably still alive. She got
For sure.
got her 2 moms that got sucked through her first portal ever.
We
That
saw
might
that
be
in
a story.
flashback.
Could be something one day. And that's it. That's Doctor Strange, I think. I mean, what happens at the very end here?
The end, the eye.
So it's the very end. He's at the Sanctorum. He's like, I'm gonna. You know what he does? He gets his
put my
watch.
sweater on.
It was super uplifting.
Fixes his watch.
Because the whole theme of the movie too was also like, am I happy?
Am I happy? Yeah.
And like, what's happy? And
like I'm gonna
who
put
isn't
this
struggling with that all the time.
I've been hanging on to this trauma.
Yes.
For so long, and the watch represented that.
And it's all cracked.
It's all cracked. He replaces the cracked part.
He's like, I'm gonna wear
fixes it.
Puts on regular shirts.
Regular clothes. Walks out of it.
He's kind of whistling almost.
Mr. Rogers-esque coming out of the building.
Crossing the street.
And just screaming in pain all of a sudden.
Third eye.
Boom.
Just
awakened.
I mean, it only took him using the Darkhold once.
Yeah.
And he's got this third eye coming on. And we're like, oh shit, is he evil now?
Here we go. Roll credits.
Roll the credits. In credit scene number 1. Charlize Theron.
He's just walking down the street.
Again,
okay, he's walking again. You're like, was this earlier in the day?
Right.
That's what you do in New York. You have to walk everywhere.
Yeah,
so it's believable.
I'm walking here.
He's walking. It's going fine. And out of nowhere, a being shows up. Charlize Theron. I don't know who this is. Purple dress, blonde hair. She goes, hey, Doctor Strange. You got to help me save this multiverse or what? And whips out a sword.
You've caused an incursion.
She's cut a hole in reality. And it looks like kind of like where Dormammu's from.
This is exactly where Dormammu's from. This is the dark dimension.
Finally. Ramifications. I guess Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah. It's like, you going to help me fix it? Or are you a chicken?
And he goes, I'm in.
Just like rips his sweater vest off.
Opens his eye.
Opens the eye. Like, let's do this.
It's like part of him. He's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with this storyline? He's going to have this eye a lot?
I don't know as much about it, but
yeah, this is just some sort of awakening he's had.
All right, and this character is
Clea.
And you guys are familiar?
She is the current Sorcerer Supreme in Earth 616.
Oh shit!
In the comic books,
will ultimately get married. Probably
they have been married before in former storylines.
This love story's over.
She is
now a new one.
She is the Sorcerer Supreme in the Dark Dimension and the niece of Dormammu.
Oh man, does he? And he doesn't know this.
He's not going to know any of this.
He's just like, I'm coming along for the ride because I'm just.
And you need some help?
I'm Doctor Strange.
I'm Doctor Strange. Give me the knife.
I got 3 eyes. I can see good.
Right.
And that's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. Roll the rest of the credits.
And then we get number 2.
We get scene number 2. Bruce Campbell. Still fighting his hand.
That dude's going to have CTE by now. Punching yourself. I mean, I could not take probably even 2 punches to my head.
Right. And then he's
like this. 3 weeks.
He's just sitting there.
It finally stops. He's like, finally. And he looks right at the screen. Classic. Breaking the fourth wall. It's over. End.
I mean, what do you think we did right when we got home? We were just watching Burn Notice.
Oh my God, I love Burn Notice.
Yeah, Carrie's a favorite, but man, Bruce Campbell just...
You know, spies. Bunch of bitchy little girls.
It's the opening. It's the opening. I'm really into it right now.
Love it.
All right, man. We just talked all about this movie. Great recap. Way to work in the conversation. I really respect the way that you identify what we're talking about in the part of the movie. I feel like sometimes we get caught up in the recaps. Steven did a good job, kind of breaking in that conversation along the way to help us kind of have the conversation along the way. And I really think that's something we can bring into our recaps forever. So
for sure,
Steven, thanks for coming, man. This is awesome. I want to hear some thoughts on this movie. Let's go ahead and do a couple round tables before we get to the ratings. Let's start with the favorite things you saw. Like we talked about the cameos. We talked about maybe things that you're excited that will come from this movie. And what'd you love most about it? And, poke any holes that you see, too.
John Kay, was seeing him as Reed. Just absolutely love that. I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan, and I've been waiting for them to get that franchise right.
Yes.
The only time I've ever seen it was there's an animated series. I think it was just called Fantastic Four.
Oh my God. Like an anime kind of style?
Yeah, World's Greatest by Mike Young Productions.
Love that
Isn't it good?
show. It is so good.
The costume design sucks. It's like mostly white, blue shoulders, and a red.
What's it called?
I think
it's just called Four.
Is it Fantastic Four, Earth's Mightiest Heroes,
something
or
like
World's
that.
Greatest Heroes?
Okay.
It's on Disney Plus.
It is?
It's got to be,
so.
right? They got them.
For sure.
It's
library.
made by Moonscoop Productions. They did the He-Man reboot in like 2003 or so when they did a lot of cool, more adult redesigns. The show's amazing. They get down the family bickering. The dialogue's great. You have so many different characters from the Marvel Universe come in, which that's actually, I love seeing that because that to me reminds me of as a kid watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yes.
And that was my entry point for comics when I was like 5 or 6. And then, but they brought in so many guest stars in that show. You see Green Goblin, you see Wolverine, you see Captain America, Thor, and even obscure like Mastermind and Toad. You see these people come in. It's like, oh, that's really great. Anyway, sorry. That's
great. A great tangent.
Seeing that happen. Love that. Are we doing loves right now? Things that we really liked?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Whatever's on your soul about this movie. This is the time to like say like what I felt, what you thought about it, what you felt about it,
but just positives.
And this is just or negatives.
Okay, bring it all out.
No, this is
so I kept thinking about. I guess was No Way Home the last Marvel movie before this one?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. There was nothing like in January, February that I'm missing out.
Right.
So
absolutely nothing.
And No Way Home, that was so good. I mean, that to me, it's like right below Endgame in terms of like best Marvel movie ever.
Top tier. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This did not have that same feeling to me. It didn't feel like I wasn't carrying it with me. A lot of awesome things I saw, but the emotional arc that Peter went through and all the Peters went through in that film were just so impactful, and the side characters. This did not have that. And I think what it comes down to is Doctor Strange's arc is so inconsequential in the grand scheme. It's like his thing that he's trying to do is try not to be in charge all the time. Let other people help.
Right.
That's something that you get at a fucking weekend seminar, you know, for, go to Stephen Covey's, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. Wanda's is, I want my children and I will do anything to get them back. She's far more compelling. She's more layered, more complex, more interesting. I think that the movie, the structure of it, shifted from him at the center, make it Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness, where we've got the bad guy, that's the main thing, while Steven's the antagonist. Now, that could also be like a little bit too samey compared to No Way Home. But for me, it's like there just was not as much at stake. I enjoyed it. I liked the movie a lot. But again, it's like because I like this stuff, and it's like, if you don't like this stuff, I can't say that it's like a great, you got to go see it movie. I agree with 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's fine by me. It's still good. I still enjoyed it, but it's just that it starts abruptly and in a way it ends abruptly, and it's like, it just feels like the middle of a major event comic series and a crossover comic that I would picked up to read through it. It's like, we're really still churning along. It's like nothing, like a lot of things and also nothing, but nothing. I mean, there's a lot of plot and there's a lot of plot in No Way Home, but it's the emotional arc that is so, it's just not there for me with Steven, but with Wanda, absolutely. And I think that she needed another beat for resolution rather than just a bunch of shit falling down on top of her again.
Yeah.
She needed more there. And I think we can tell stories from the point of view of who we think is good, but they're actually bad. Like The Last of Us is an amazing story where it's told from the point of view of someone that really fucks over the world, but because he thinks he's doing the right thing. And I think that had it been done that way, that would have been far more interesting to me.
Yeah. Good take. Fair share.
Yeah.
I agree with 80% of what you said. Like it's all true. Giggler, let's go to you, ma'am. What are you thinking?
Yeah. So this didn't disappoint at all. And the only thing that messed it up was pretty much myself seeing shit on social media. That I'm gonna go the Logan route now and try to avoid everything. Like my buddy Dan, who saw the movie with us the other day, he had not even seen a trailer. We're walking in and he goes, "Wow." He goes, I have a feeling that Patrick Stewart's going to be in this movie. And I was like, I can't say anything right now that without spoiling anything. So just like, maybe just wait 10 minutes when the movie starts and we'll see.
Yeah, that's what you always do.
Just like, I would love, like, I knew all of the Illuminati people that were going to be in there before. So it's
Same.
Just It just takes something
all
away.
of them.
I'm done. I'm done with that. There's so many accounts that I'm gonna follow or unfollow from social media
100%.
because
Especially the ones that share spoilers.
it would have been so much.
As soon as they become apparent.
Well, it's not even this wasn't spoilers. These were just like speculations over the past year or two. So I don't know if it could be a spoiler. Someone knew and it got leaked, and you just see it in the echo chamber of social media. But still, I really enjoyed the movie. Wanda was amazing. I've been wanting to see resolution of where her character arc is coming since WandaVision. I rewatched that last week, and it was so enjoyable. That's my number one MCU show for sure.
So
that's going to be a tough one,
absolutely
unbeat, especially because that the WandaVision times, like where we're dissecting every frame of of everything in that, like that was amazing.
So dense.
We're making it up as we go along.
I'm loving what we're getting to with Secret Wars, like we talked about last episode. That is exactly what's exactly. Like I cannot wait. But I think a lot of people might have expected more cameos and it to be more of like a huge like Avengers level event. But I guess this is the other side of the social media thing that I talked about. But like last week, I think even the director said something like, "Oh, you shouldn't be expecting that many cameos." And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Like this is a Doctor Strange movie. Like it's going to be have Wanda in it too. But like I think no one saw her coming as the main villain. That's for sure."
I agree.
It ended up
I didn't see that
hitting it out of the park. I thought there was going to be like some other entity that
I thought it was going to be Supreme Strange.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, exactly. They now at least they're doing a good job of like misdirecting us through trailers at least.
Yes.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I was just going to say what a good job Marvel has done to go back and redefine their antagonists. Because I mean, even just looking at the first Doctor Strange, Caecilius, and he had like sparkly, glittery eyes, like he's I don't know, lost at a My Little Pony convention. And the other thing is like his wants and needs and his desires, they're so shallow when you stack them up next to Thanos, Killmonger, and now Wanda. These, Marvel went back and they're like, our villains are just not cutting it. That's what our fans are saying. And that's Marvel has been very good about doing what their fans want to do, as doing what an auteur, again, like a Zack Snyder wants to. Like, this is what I want to see. I want to see, a universe where even Lois Lane could get, raped and murdered. I mean, he said this shit. And it's like, okay, that's nice, but it's like Marvel has really gone back to be like, this is what our fans are saying. They say that our villains are crappy, which in phase 1, there are a lot of crappy villains. I would love to see what, like, if they could redo it, what would the Russo brothers do with Red Skull?
Oh my God. Yeah. So 100% wasted.
Yeah.
On the first Captain America movie.
I did like that movie a lot, but I know it's such a different animal. All those phase 1s are, Iron Man pretty much set the tone, but then you go and you watch Incredible Hulk and it's like, oh, this feels kind of like, the late 90s Marvel movies before they figured the stuff out. And that's because Feige was taking, commands from above. And then after phase 2 and Thor Dark World, it was like, okay, you can have it.
Yeah.
And that's when I think things went to real next level. It got so much better. It was I guess it was Winter Soldier where things really turned around.
Yeah, Russo brothers came in, just knocked it out.
Yep. Best Marvel movie. So.
Scotty Scoop, tell us what you're thinking.
This was a fun movie. I don't think it was particularly great. I had a lot of fun watching it, a lot of fan service, which elevated it. And I think the horror aspect, having not have anything to do with the Marvel universe before, really added some depth that, you could tell that this, even though this was the multiverse of madness, it was very choppy. You could feel the delays, the COVID reshoots.
Yeah, you could.
The director change. The fact that this was supposed to come out before Spider-Man, and they had to kind of rewrite everything to make it work. That said, I still had a great time, enough to watch it twice.
Yeah.
I really wanted more cameos. I really had my heart dead set on Tom Cruise's superior Iron Man. And I really wanted Namor
I think you just
to show
wait.
up.
Just wait.
He's dating Haley Atwell.
Who
You know,
is?
Tom Cruise. Yeah,
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Did you think you?
She's
were
in
gonna
the
maybe.
she's
no, I
in the
just like
next.
her, and she doesn't need Scientology.
Yeah, like what?
Hate Scientology. Tom Cruise is my favorite actor.
He's
of
a
all time.
fantastic actor. Yes.
She's in the next 2 Mission Impossible movies.
Mm.
So, they just said they just couldn't get him.
Yeah.
And I really wanted Namor. Other than that,
It's a good Doctor Strange movie.
Good Doctor Strange movie.
You
I think it ends somewhere in the middle of the pack of the MCU.
Good call.
Talk about fan service, and I think that I agree with you. Well, clearly, Reed, as John K. as Reed, definitely fan service. But this compared to a movie that I think botches fan service, Rise of Skywalker, all the stuff that was included for fan stuff, Lando, and maybe it's Lando's daughter, and just a lot of bullshit that it's like, that was unearned fan service. This is more like, we're so sorry we did The Last Jedi. Will you take Lando's daughter as our apology? As compared to this is like, yeah, we're going to do this because it's what you wanted, but we're also going to wipe the slate clean.
This is good fan service.
Yes,
Mhm.
This
I agree.
is positive fan
And it
service.
helped the story.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And it gives you an outlook on anything's possible. Like, hey, we fan serviced you these characters, and then we slaughtered them.
Yeah, right in front of you. I loved that. Like,
Yes.
what a move.
Yeah,
Like, you're not
for
gonna
sure.
like you like them. Don't like them for
Yeah.
too long.
This is what you wanted, right? Nah, sorry.
All right, I'll give my take here, then we'll do a final roundtable of ratings. So, boys, get your ratings ready. Yeah, I said this, on Twitter. It was just not what I expected. I had the same feelings as I watched this movie. That, my gosh, this looks amazing. This is so great. This looks so good. The fight scenes, the animation, all right, Doctor Strange is back. I feel okay. But I just could not shake this feeling.
Something just wasn't
Something just wasn't there.
stitching it together.
And as I talked about with Carrie afterwards, kind of told her, I found myself doing what you were doing, Scott, like explaining the reshoots, explaining the timing of how it all changed, and saying like this movie was like around, just in probably a totally different place before, 6 months ago, where like after No Way Home comes out, you can just see how like they just work certain things. I'm like, that was probably a reshoot. That was probably a reshoot. I found myself also like feeling like I could acknowledge like the awkward breaks. But then after thinking about it and realizing that like this is Doctor Strange 2, I had also put it on a pedestal to feel like it was going to maybe be like an Avengers level event because, well, hell, it had been delayed 1.5 years.
Right.
And it felt like after seeing like No Way Home and like all these shows coming up that I was almost worried that it would be too many cameos and that it would just be this fan service shit show. And it wasn't that. I really like the route that, Raimi went and like the writers went with bringing in characters that you could not believe were on the screen and then just, again, murdering them right in front of your eyes, just as a nod of like, all right, more to come for like anything can go.
Right. We've got multiple universes.
And there's so
endless
many ways,
universes of these characters.
And you could do it in ways that wasn't like crazy story build up. Like you could literally have like, Ironheart and then like someone shows up in episode 3 from like a multiverse that's like connected to their world.
Yeah.
And it could just be like, well, now you got like this other Iron Man character, get what you want for Scotty Scoop.
Bring it.
So after all that, I had a great time. I did not feel anything like when I watched No Way Home. And I didn't feel anything like when I watch Age of Ultron and I'm just sitting there thinking like this is maybe a perfect movie. It wasn't that I didn't think it was bad, but I also feel like that the Doctor Strange arc storyline a little thin. Doctor Strange though, I didn't read the comics, but like I can deduce a lot. Like Doctor Strange is the character to like take you through the cosmos. And like he's the one that can kind of be in any story. And like his storyline is going to be kind of just like another thing that moves everything else along. Like you're going to meet some new characters, you're going to get some new storylines. We're going to teach you more about the multiverse. Here's a little bit about when you die. And now that's Doctor Strange.
Right.
So like you said, you're bitching about Doctor Strange not being Doctor Strange. Like that's who he is, but I would like to see some heartfelt arc,
some real character
because like the drudging up the Christine story, it just didn't feel real because like I've seen him in 3 other movies.
Right.
We
Like,
need-
here's
we
a
need
little
something-
Christine in the front and little
Yeah.
Christine at the end, and it just wasn't. It wasn't fully fleshed
We
out.
need something more at stake for
Yes.
him to lose
It seemed
or
like-
to gain.
Totally agree.
That's the problem. When you're watching a movie, you're like, why is it feels like it's a car that's struggling to go uphill. It's usually because there's not enough tension, and the tension is like, well, what is at stake for the character?
Yep.
And here it was just like, you need to let other people lead. Again, okay, kind of interesting, but that's like a D plot.
That's
Or
like,
like a-
that's like an origin story lesson to learn. Like that's
Mhm.
like early days hero stuff. I totally agree with you that like this is something that you still can't quite figure out.
It would be better served if it were a team-based movie. You know, if it were an Avengers something or a Cyclops learning how to lead or whatever, or I don't know, something to that effect. But it's just that it just wasn't enough. It's like he needed to have more to lose. Like the What If Strange Supreme story, that's fucking fantastic.
That was way more character development
That was-
than this
in
entire
30
movie
minutes.
had.
And that was
for
also
Doctor
around
Strange.
and that was also around Love and Christine and
Yeah.
like, man, Rachel McAdams, like she's fantastic. But like I didn't feel even that in
No.
this movie.
Then maybe that's what it could be done if Wanda becomes our protagonist, then Strange Supreme becomes the antagonist. That could be interesting. Then we close on leaving this demonic Strange at the end that exists in the universe, and while Wanda gets resolution with her kids in a healthier way. I think that's how I would redo it.
Yeah.
But it's not what we have, and so you got to go with what we have.
Right. And where does it go? Like, we'll see, man. Like, I'm excited most, like, you know, how I feel at a lot of these. I'm excited for what comes next. But, like, at a certain point, like, you know, I'm not going to always feel like that. You know, at a certain point, you're like, you just want this movie to feel as good as all the Marvel movies.
Right.
But, like, you're always going to have your Thor 2s, your Doctor Strange 2s, your Iron Man 3s. Like, you're going to have these in-between stories. And the truth is, I do love those movies. And
Yeah.
I'm a fan
Oh, yeah.
of those stories. Like, I'm a fan of the offbeat, not mainstream. Like, I'm a huge Thor 2 fan. I think that, like, that's one of the best Marvel movies because it's, like, the most traditional comic storyline. Like, this is what this character is. And that's what they did here. So I think when I go back and watch this, you know, I think we should do a roundtable rating right now and just see how we all feel. Like, hit it real hot. I think it might not be higher next time, is what I was going to say. Let's do it right now and rate the thing. Close this thing out as we go into coming up. Stephen Walden, we're going to start with you, our guest, and we're going to go hot. Rating is all I want. We'll go roundtable. Hit it.
3.2.
3.3.
3.0.
3.1.
I'm surprised that I liked it the most out of that. I should have gone lower. I would've-
No, that was real.
I think this was really a case of the hype train taking you too far.
I think it was too. And we still rated
Yeah.
it high because
And I think
we're
it's-
MCU fans.
It was still
Yeah.
a good movie.
yeah.
And it's recent. Here's the other thing I think would be cool to do on the show. Revisit this in a year when you got more content,
Oh, for
more
sure.
distance from it,
Oh, yeah.
and be like, I'll watch it again. And this because there are films I have softened against, and there are others that I've become more of a fan of.
Absolutely.
I'll
100%.
always hate Dark World though. Fuck Dark World.
That's great. It's that's a huge part of our show is
Yeah.
watching it again. and
Once
like, how'd it go?
phase 4 starts to round the corner to phase 5, you'll start to realize all those seeds they planted in this movie. And you'll watch it again. You'll be like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. Or I can't believe I missed it.
Yeah.
And they called, you watching whatever Secret Wars in 3 years. And you're like, oh, what? We remember it all started in Doctor Strange 2. Genius.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think of the shows we're going to get now. America Chavez and Ned at Comertage
Yeah. They're just hanging out.
learning to be magicians.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all
There's your
for it.
show right there.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Call us, Kevin.
Marvel's Harry Potter.
Here's our idea.
All right,
I mean-
man.
Wong would be in it. You put Shang-Chi in there. Boom.
Let's go. All of them. And we are bringing you a surprise right now into the studio here for our biggest episode in a long time. We're bringing back an old friend that actually is part of a podcast that inspired mostly superheroes. I see him on right now. I hope he's ready to say hello. He's here to give us his take on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Guys, welcome. A 7-year podcast out there that has inspired me to do what we're doing in here. I'm so happy to have back again, who's been on the show, Imran of the Jock and Nerd podcast.
What's up, fellas?
Yes.
Imran, what's up, man? I can actually hear you now. If you were talking before, I couldn't.
No, I just started talking. It's good to see you guys. I can see you. I just flew through several multiverses to get here. I was in the wrong multiverse. Sorry, I'm late. I was at another. It was the wrong universe.
There he is. Welcome back, man. How you been, dude?
Good. How's it going? I see your fantastic set in there. This is amazing.
Thank you so much. It's been, we've come a little bit of a way since the last time you were on our show. This is a whole new space now. It's exploded over the time. I mean, I think that that we could have never expected for all of these things to be coming up for us. I mean, at this point, almost weekly, right? Just a new title all the time. How has Jock and Nerd been doing, handling all this new content coming in, man? And tell some little people about where they can find your show real quick before we dive into this quick talk.
It is a golden age for comic book content, right? Like, you told 12-year-old me that you'd be getting all this stuff, I would have been like, get out of here. Get the hell out of here. I'm proud of you guys. The set looks great. Jock and Nerd podcast. Like you said, if you like what these Logan and these guys talk about here, it's a great companion. Geek news, entertainment. We got comic book movie reviews over at jockandnerd.com, shows every week. And I couldn't be prouder of you, Logan. Look at what you built. It's amazing.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, you don't happen to have your mixer there, do you? Can we get a Jock and Nerd soundbite?
I don't have the soundboard plugged in. You should have given me heads up.
I know, that's it. Hey, wait, do it live.
I'll try. Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd. Jock and Nerd. Jock and Nerd. That's right.
Listen, it's bad etiquette to bring your soundboard on another show. Like, that's not, I'm trying to be.
Next time, bring it. I want it. Hey, man,
all right.
Thanks for joining us. And also, I didn't tell you this. This is a little bit of heads up. I want at least also a tidbit of what you thought of Moon Knight. But I want to focus on the title for today, the meat, as we call it over here.
The meat.
And just so you know, Imran, I don't know if you've ever met Scotty Scoop. He's one of our co-hosts here on the show now. You have met the Giggler, and then back again, also on the show for the second time, local legend and artist Stephen Walden.
Nice. Now, honor. Nice to meet all you guys.
All right, Imran, we're going to give that spoiler alert for Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange 2 is here. We haven't even talked about it yet in our show. It's going to be about an hour from now. So you're getting us warmed up for our episode with this. This is a special treat for our Patreon patrons. This is a special treat to any viewer that's watching us on Twitch right now. What I'd love to hear from you, Imran, if you could give us a little bit of a spiel on what you thought of this movie. Doctor Strange is back. The last time we saw him was Spider-Man No Way Home. Tell us about what this movie experience was for you, and we'd love to have a rating from you. We use a 4.0 scale, but we'll happily convert for whatever you want to use.
All right, 4.0. I could do the math. I'll pull out my calculator. So we're talking full spoilers.
Full spoiler alert. You have the full green light. I want to dive right in.
All right. Look, going in, there was a lot of hype to this movie, right? Obviously, you can't help but have read all the cameos, all the rumors. Like, I was being fed information from a listener of ours who's in a Facebook group with a supposed Hollywood insider. He's feeding me these giant rumor dumps, and I'm like, I don't know if I should read this, but I read it, and most of it was bullshit. So I'm glad to report. But I was like, man, if all this stuff happens, this movie is crazy. But based on what happens in the movie, the hype, the marketing, it's very interesting going into this. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the movie. I had a lot of fun with the movie. Seeing Sam Raimi's visual style back on the big screen was probably the best thing out of this movie. What a treat. What a creative, he's got his bag of tricks, and yeah, he uses them a lot. We've seen them a lot, but they're great. They're great when he pulls out the swoopy point of view camera or the quick jump scares, right? So, much like, I think he set a nice feel for the Doctor Strange franchise moving forward. A lot of like what Taika Waititi has done with Thor, James Gunn has done with Guardians. Like, I wouldn't be mad if he gets a third movie, right?
Yep.
So overall, fun performances, good performances. Danny Elfman doing the music, great visuals. I enjoyed it. However, on the other side of that enjoyment,
here we go.
I think the writing was probably the weak. It wasn't weak. It was hampering. There was certain choices, certain holes that hampered the movie, and marketing interestingly misleading, because I did not think going in Wanda was going to be the big bad. Right?
The big bad.
Yes.
Right. I don't think anybody. I think they made it seem like there was another threat there.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
But this was a team up of sorts.
Right. I absolutely thought that. So clever on their part. Yes, that was a good subversion of that. However, the trailers also made it seem like this movie was going to be a little more substantial, I think, for the MCU moving forward than it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
So Multiverse of Madness, I could have used a couple more multiverses, a little more madness, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It was there. I don't know if you've seen, there's a movie out there called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you guys seen it?
I mean, you just tapped right into, this is how we're on the same page, Imran. You just tapped into our show program. It's going to be one of the first titles we talk about in What You Watch, and I'll go ahead and give a spoiler alert for that too, and tell us.
I'm not going to spoil that.
That's okay.
But that one, you need experience. I don't know.
That's true.
Spoil that
Actually, don't spoil it because I haven't seen it. So
the only thing I will say is they handle. That's a Multiverse of Madness. Like that title works for that movie. Just they handle it a little bit with more substance and thoughtfulness than this movie. But fun movie. Love seeing Benedict back in the role. He's so good as this character, and just kind of how you learn that he's kind of a shit show in every universe. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love how they brought a lot back from that first movie. You had the doctor that he worked with there with him in the wedding, calling him out like world's best surgeon, world's best superhero. I loved Christine Palmer, just that. I mean, I love you in every multiverse. That's the line.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
You probably enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, their chemistry's a little, I don't know, like the actors' chemistry's a little iffy, but I thought I kind of felt like her and Mordo did get a little sidelined. Let's just get to the big thing. All right. The cameos. What the cameos we got. I love that scene. It was insanity. It was disturbing. And you did not expect them to be murdered in such fashion. And boy, was that good to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that fun?
Scotty Scoop brought up a good point. I mean, try not to give any spoilers here without talking specifics, but have you seen Invincible?
Yeah.
Right? You see what I'm saying?
So it's a very opening of the end of the first episode.
Right.
Omni-Man bit. So great subversion of that. So that is something, I know they changed around a lot of the cameos in the reshoots, and there were supposed to be some other people. But that was great. And honestly, I think Elizabeth Olsen damn near steals this whole movie.
Yeah.
Like pretty much almost every scene she's in. I loved her performance in this.
Yeah, you mentioned like the wishy-washy kind of feeling with some of the actors. I feel like Wanda's character, that was the one where I was like, okay, she showed up for this.
Yeah, she anchored that movie for sure.
And what's surprising is Sam Raimi has not watched all of WandaVision. He said it in an interview. They showed him just a few important moments. And so what does he do? He goes to Elizabeth Olsen and he let her take control of her character and put her where she needs to be, because she's the one that's been on the journey, and he didn't even get to see the whole show, but it still worked.
Yeah, man. So good. Love hearing your thoughts on it. Those cameos are crazy. I think I was a little shocked to see that the Illuminati just gets massacred in like one literally afternoon.
Yeah.
It's hilarious and disturbing, but it does set the stage that these characters exist in these multiverses.
It was definitely like the Marvel mood of like showing here's what we can do, right? Here's a little taste. All right, so now we can do anything.
I mean, straight up fan casting for Reed Richards.
I know, right?
100%.
Krasinski's in there.
They just went for it. They're like, we're gonna do it and we're gonna kill him. But they've established that the characters in the multiverse can look like exactly like each other or look completely different.
Yeah.
This leaves it open to I think they should recast the entire X-Men. Give us a new X-Men cast from scratch.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
I jumped in a lot. Any questions from you, Giggler, for Imran on Multiverse of Madness, or any shout outs there?
Let's see. First off, great to see you again. Last time we did this, we were all on Zoom.
Yep.
So
yes, it was pandemic time still.
That's what's crazy. But we gotta hear your rating.
Yeah, let's dive right in and get that.
What I
let's get Multiverse of rating from Imran.
Okay, overall thoughts. And that's the thing, is I enjoyed the movie. I thought it could have been bigger. They could have pushed it a little. Great. The ending was a little rushed.
What's your biggest problem with the movie?
Man, I would. Oh man, that's good. I don't know. I guess a little more characterization for America Chavez also would have helped.
Yeah, for sure. Like they were like, Carrie said it. My fiance, she said, I guess they asked this girl mainly like, can you run really well?
Yeah. Can you do Tom Cruise running on screen? I mean, she's 14 years old, right? So She did a great job at 14.
Yes.
But she's going to be important. What an important power to have. Like we put her in the Young Avengers. That is a useful superpower, right?
Oh
there.
yeah, we're coming up on that for sure.
Yeah. So, okay, if you're going to do it out of 4, I will give it. Oh man, how does that break down in the French?
Go with your gut.
Whoa, I'm gonna have to go like just.
What is your normal rating system? Because I have a conversion chart.
Whoa, it's out of 10.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm taking way too long.
Go ahead.
Out of 10, I gave it a 7.5. What is that? That's like under
34. You give it a 3.
3
Oh,
point.
3. Oh, yeah.
It's probably like a
Okay.
3.125.
Okay. Yeah. That's where an overall.
That's
like,
I'm gonna give it up. That's a great score.
yeah, that's good. And I mean, it's right in the middle of like all. There's 28 Marvel movies
For us,
which is
that 3.0 becomes a kind of a threshold of sorts. You know, where like, you know, if you made it over the hump, you know, you're okay. But if you're right at the 3, you just kind of cruised. And if you're in the 2s, some things kind of had some problems.
You've lost your scholarship.
And we've only had one on the show ever, and it was my fiance rating Morbius.
All right, I buy that. I can see where that comes from. This is like converting to the metric system. I don't know why it's so hard for me. No, yeah, that it's out of the 28 Marvel movies, I will put it like right in the middle. But probably one of my more favorites of this recent phase 4. The theater experience is great. Nothing will ever top the experience of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
And Endgame.
Yep.
You know, and I don't know if I should have walked in expecting that, but I definitely had more joy in No Way Home, which is just joyful.
Yeah, that's it. You know, whenever that's what it is for me. I mean, I heard your guys' episode on Spider-Man No Way Home. You guys did a fantastic job, of course. But man, what a nerd fest. Just those magical feels 70% of the time. I'm with you. I didn't feel that in this one. I was wowed at the views and what was happening. And it was almost like when it is over, I'm excited for what comes next.
Well, let me ask you guys real quick this question. Are the cameos getting a little too fan servicey, a little too not just thrown in for no reason for you guys?
I'm going to go to Steven Walden.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I was shocked by it. I don't know. You said earlier, you know, that you feel so fortunate to live in the golden age. And I have that thought a lot. I have a lot of gratitude whenever I see these movies. Cause I mean, I remember growing up on Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man with the one.
Oh my God, me too. I have that on VHS tape. And the thing that kids don't know what it is.
And to me, the deadly dust, you know, here's the message there. Kids don't build atomic bombs. It'll hurt your friends. But that and the Red Brown Captain America, things like that. Yeah. And for me to nitpick and to bitch about that stuff, it's just like, fucking enjoy what you got, man. It's like, it is really good. Mm-hmm. Now that's me, you know, not to take away anybody else's on it, but for me, it's like, there were 2 times when I I sat forward in an excited manner and said, and one was with Krasinski as Reed. Yeah. And the other was the hit of the 90s X-Men cartoon when we saw Professor X's hover chair.
The yellow
hovered up in the classic
90s
hover chair.
Dropping the line from X-Men. The first
Days
one?
of Future Past. He says that to him younger self, Max McAvoy. No, I got vocal at Bruce Campbell, and people were like, right,
loved it.
It's over.
So the Evil Dead throwback with the hand attacking himself. Oh, I loved it.
And a friend of mine,
if you are a Sam Raimi fan, you know that you've been waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
A friend of mine he's loved Sam Raimi, and he saw Strange. He was like, I liked it, but I felt like that a lot of Sam Raimi's Evil Dead stuff was gratuitous, and we've seen it before. And I had to say, pump the brakes, man. We have to think about people who are seeing this are not our age, who have no fucking clue.
No idea.
Exactly.
They didn't see Evil Dead 20 times on the Superstation in one day.
Yeah.
You know, like we know, like because I had someone who was, you know, probably 15 years younger than me. You know, we're probably all someone's friend who has to call to like explain what happened on this episode of Gotham. Who's this person or whatever. I'm that guy for a lot of my friends. And she was like, you know, I didn't understand the thing with the guy with the hand and it beating him up. And I had to explain, I've seen that movie where he's fighting his hand.
Yeah. So, I thought it worked even just like, I'm not really that familiar. It worked on its own for me. I was like, this is great. Bruce Campbell's just punching himself at a hot dog stand.
Love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Pizza ball stand.
Yeah, pizza balls.
Pizza balls, right. Those look delicious.
Count me in for pizza balls. More
go
than
on
anything.
Red.
All right, Imran, before we let you go, I want you to give us a 1-minute take and your rating of the entire series of Moon Knight. If that's not too much pressure, let it go.
All right. Moon Knight, probably now in top 3 best Disney Plus shows. I really enjoyed how different it was. The Arab representation was also great. The authenticity, I really appreciate that. The Oscar Isaac acting his goddamn ass off.
Man,
it's probably the finest acting we've seen in any of these Disney Plus Marvel shows to date. Overall, it managed to keep it really compelling and interesting. The ending was great. Again, a little rushed. These endings get rushed all the time. Same thing happens in Doctor Strange, but leaving it open for another season or something. We don't know where he's going to be, but holy man, I really enjoyed the Moon Knight. More of a character study than a superhero show, but I love both parts of it. And just, man, Oscar Isaac, episode 5, going through his memories. Amazing. So good.
Throw a number on it.
Okay, if you're going to convert, this one I'll give like a 3.5, 3.5.
Woo!
Hot.
I still love WandaVision the best. I don't know why. I love classic sitcoms. It's a very special show still. And then this is like tied, I think, with Loki for me as number 2.
Well, and I think that's a great segue. Not only do you have the Jock and Nerd podcast, you have a TV series podcast.
Yes, the other show I do weekly with my sister is a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast. Now, you guys are all probably too young to remember
Not me.
Balky.
I remember Balky.
Balky Bartogomos, Larry Appleton. We're literally doing a rewatch, watching every episode. It's called Dance of Joy. You can find it at danceofjoypod.com. And really, because we watched it growing up as kids, we discovered it again 35 years later. And we're like, this show was still really funny. Oh my God, the chemistry these guys have, unbelievable. So having a good time. It's very, very 80s niche, but I feel like the 80s are coming back in style a little bit.
They totally are. They're very back.
Perfect
Right?
Strangers, I want to chime in. It has one of the best slapstick episodes ever with when they're trying to move a piano upstairs.
The piano movers is fantastic.
It's Looney Tunes meets Lucy meets, all these sitcom tropes. So yeah, great watch.
Yeah, at like Laurel and Hardy,
Yeah.
Three Stooges. They're really like smart. Both of those guys went to like Stanford acting or whatever, and they're Shakespearean actors. Lots of fun references. The crazy thing is we have to stop and explain things that, like, if you were a kid now, you'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, what is a videotape? And then you gotta like explain what that is. That's the fun part.
All right, and then the last thing I'll ask you before we go, so this will be a teaser for you fans that are interested in checking out the Jock and Nerd podcast, something that's coming up later in 2022. Imran, what title are you looking forward to most for the rest of the year?
Oh man. Well, Marvel's got two more things coming out. Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm looking forward to a lot to see where this is Taika's second movie, right? So I expect him to make it even bigger, even more fun. And I love that style he put in the first one. Had to grow on me a little. It was a little too slapsticky, but like the more I watch it, I'm like, this movie's just fun. It's just got great style. So yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther, every big major superhero movie. We're getting a lot of them this year and a lot more next year. We discuss and review and geek out over.
And I promise you, it could inspire you to make a podcast.
Oh, stop.
It's one of the first podcasts I listened to when I lived in Chicago. You're based out of Chicago, right?
Absolutely.
And that was where I was listening when I first heard these guys. They do a great job. You put on a great program. I see all the hard work that you, Rug Boy, Anthony, tell them all hello. And we got to do another collaboration soon. Hope you would come back and join us again here at Mostly Superheroes.
Absolutely, man. You guys keep talking your passion too. Like, I feel it right back. I could say the same exact thing about you guys. Always fun to get different takes and hear people's geek passion.
Imran, we'll see you next time. Check out Imran at the Jock and Nerd podcast. We'll see you later on, man. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey, buddy. That's awesome.